What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video, Kaspa could catch up to Ethereum Classic. Also, Nexa has a brand new miner we've got to check out. And then, how do you make sure that your net meter is being read accurately by your electric provider? And then, lastly, Nexa's price and difficulty are at all-time highs. Before we get into it, do me a favor, hit the like and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's take a look at the market right now. So Bitcoin is having somewhat of a pump at the moment, currently sitting at $23,219. By the way, the time of recording is about 7 p.m. on January 25th, 2023. Ethereum is sitting at 1,624, XRP at 41 cents, Cardano at 38 cents, Dogecoin at 8.6 cents, Solana at $24.73, Polygon at $1, Litecoin at 89.77, and then we've got Monero at $174, Ethereum Classic at $22, and Toncoin is at $2.23. And look at Aptos, up to number 25 with a 143% increase in the last 7 days and up over 44% in the last 24 hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the GPU mineable coins. So we'll start with Flux. Flux is up about 4% at 65, almost 66 cents. Radiant is sitting at 0.00007789, down about 2.5%. Ravencoin is up about 6% or about 5.5% at almost 3 cents. And Kaspa is up almost 3%, sitting at 0.006137. And we got up to 623, 628, somewhere around there earlier today. And let's go ahead and take a look at Nexa. So Nexa is down about 1.5%, currently sitting at 0.001046. And let's take a look at Meowcoin. Wow, Meowcoin is up 32% at 0.001254. Not sure what prompted this, but as you can see, it is one giant candle that got us all the way up there. A significant move for Meowcoin. I'll do a little research and see if I can figure out what was the catalyst that made that pump happen. And let's take a look at Nexa. So right now Nexa is at its all-time high, currently sitting at 0.0000128. Let's just zoom in here. And it looks like it could continue now that we have broke the 1,200 range. I am not certain where this is going, but man, this thing looks really top heavy to me. I mean, we've got to come down at some point. I just don't know when. Alright, so let's move on. Let's take a look at, you know what? Instead of looking at what to mine today, I think I'm going to switch. I think we're going to start using hashrate.no. And what to mine, if you're listening, you guys are lazy. There's so many things that are inaccurate on this. It's just frustrating to use. I know everybody is familiar with it, but you know, at least hashrate.no is more accurate and up to date with overclocks and profitability numbers. So I think from now on, I may start to use hashrate.no when we take a look at profitability on a 3070. So right now, profitability at 10 cents per kilowatt hour on a 3070 is going to get you 14 to 17 cents per day mining Nexa. Radiant's coming in between 6 and 5 cents a day. Cortex at 1 cent. Lithium anywhere from 0 to 4 cents. Ergo 0 to -2 cents. Kaspa -1 to -2 cents. Conflux coming in at -1 cent to break even, and then ETHW and Lithium somewhere between -1 cent and 1 cent. ETHW and ZIL sitting at -2 cents. Ravencoin -2 to -4 cents. Nexa -3 to -4 cents. ETC and Ethereum -3 cents to -1 cent. ETC and ZIL -4 cents to -5 cents. Nice hash on Nexapow is -6 cents. Flux is anywhere from -5 cents to -8 cents. Beam -6 cents to -8 cents. And I'll just scroll down a little bit further so you guys can see the rest. I wonder if these Meow Coin numbers reflect the current price or if it's a little bit behind. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about ASIC profitability. So right now, a KA3 is coming in at $47.24 a day in profit. The K7 is at $27 a day in profit. Jazz Miner's coming in at about $3 a day in profit. Gold Shell KD Max coming in at $2.75. And I'm going to pull up profitability on CPUs, but first, since I already have this window open, I just wanted to point out that Nexa's hash rate is skyrocketing. It is currently over 7 terahash, which is an all-time high for it. So let's go ahead and pull up Rapid Mining's CPU mining profitability calculator. So we've got a 5950X at 10 cents per kilowatt hour. Looks like Pulsar is coming in on top at 44 cents a day in profit, followed by Pandanite at 32 cents, Raptorium at 11 cents, Monero at 8 cents, Versus Coin at 6 cents, Avian at 5 cents, Bitorium 3 cents, Darrow at -1 cent. Everything else is going to be negative. I'm so used to saying negative, it's just natural at this point. Alright, so next thing we got that I wanted to get into is the solo mining situation on Nexa. The luck is starting to run dry. So the time to find, according to their calculator, is normally between 2 days and 2 days and 10 hours. We've been finding blocks about every 12 hours, and if I take a look at our block rewards, I think there's something that shows us our average effort, which is currently at 81%. But prior to this little dry spell that we've had, we were at 60% effort on the average. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think we may stop solo mining here in the very near future. I think we're going to give it the rest of tonight to see if we can hit another block, and then we may be calling it quits and go back to pool mining. And then, so let's get into the HiveOS tweet from earlier today that said Kaspa mining is slowly catching up to ETC mining popularity. And they shared this chart, but if you select this chart, it takes you to this article by Bloodies. But if you go a little bit further, there's a link that provides these statistics for you. And I thought this was extremely interesting to go over all of it. So let's just take a look here. So we've got coins, and then we've got algorithms and GPUs. So right now, Ethereum Classic is coming in at 24% of HiveOS's total network hash rate on coins, followed by Kaspa at 12%. So we're looking at 50% of ETH Classic. Now the article says that you have to take this with a grain of salt because, well, let me just read it. According to mining statistics provided by HiveOS Network based on the users of their platform, Kaspa is the second most popular coin mined with already more than 50% of Ethereum Classic's miners, and the third spot is for Ravencoin with around 30% of miners on ETC. The comparison here is a bit unfair as there are ASIC miners available, though most ETH hash and ETC hash ASICs are not supported by HiveOS, so the stat is based mostly on GPU miners. Although ETC is still very strong, it's in a very strong position for GPU miners, partly thanks to dual mining with ZIL, its position for the top mineable GPU crypto coin is slowly being overtaken by other coins such as newcomer Kaspa or the more established Raven. Now, I don't expect Raven to continue to gain any steam against Ethereum Classic. I could be wrong, but that's just my 2 cents. So anyway, going back to the stats here, let's take a look at a few of these things here. So one thing that I wanted to point out is where is Nexa on the chart? It's been gaining a lot of steam, and we know that we're hitting an all-time high on network hash rate. So let's see here. Nexa is in 4th place currently, right behind Ravencoin at 6.13%, which is about half of what Kaspa is. And then also, we notice that there are different names in here for the same coin. So I think I saw Nexa in here twice. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is again at 0.02%. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what causes this. I think what causes this is in HiveOS, if you go to wallets, you can create a wallet, and Nexa is already an option here. However, you can also create your own, and I think a lot of people created their own prior to Nexa being available. So that may account for the discrepancy that we're seeing in the statistics right here for HiveOS. So just something to keep in mind. But I'll just scroll down a little bit so that you guys can see the percentage. But the main thing to keep in mind is Kaspa is gaining a lot of traction on ETC. Ravencoin will probably start to fall off over time if my estimates are correct. Ergo, it's tough to say what Ergo is going to do. I assume that it's going to continue to stay about the same, maybe increase as we get into the next bull run. And then you've got ETHW at 2.9%, Reptorium at 3.34%, RXD or Radiant at about 2%. Aleo is climbing up there at 1.2%. Let's see what else we got. BTG at 1%. Everything else is going to be below 1%. And then if we take a look at the algorithms, so we've got ETHash at 25%, Kaspa at 13%, Nexapow at 11%, another ETHash, so I guess this would be ETHW or maybe ETHFair at 7%, and then Ergo coming in at 6%. Then you've got script miners at 5%. I believe that may be Grin. I'm not sure what GR is. And then Nexapow at 5%. But then look down here, you also have Nexa as well as Nexapow, and we've got 2%. So that's going to total 6%. And let's go ahead and scroll down a little further. There's some other statistics that I wanted to share with you guys. And this is in regards to which GPUs and which ASICs are on the network, so or on HiveOS specifically. Surprisingly, the RX 588 gig is still a incredible amount, of, at least percentage-wise, on HiveOS at 27%, followed by the 578 gig at 10%, then the 5700 XT at 9%, and then we've got the 6600 at 7%. 6700 XT at 7%, 6600 XT at 6%, and you've got some older 4 gig cards here. Then we've got a 6800 XT, and I was surprised to see the 6900 XT really didn't make the list here. And then moving on to NVIDIA GPUs, the 3070 is on top now. I believe the 1660 Super was previously, but now 12% for the 3070, 11% for the 1660 Super. Then we've got a 3060 Ti at 7%, 3060 Ti LHR at 6%, 2060 Super, that one was kind of surprising at 6%, then a 3080 at 5%, the P106 at 4%, and we've got 1660 Ti 4%, 3070 Ti LHR coming in at 3%. I would have thought the 3060 would be sitting above a 3070 Ti, but I guess I'm wrong. And then we've got a 3090 coming in at 3%. So then we've got some ASICs here. So the L3 Plus on HiveOS is at 51%, followed by the S9 at 27%, and then regular S9 non-HiveOS at 5%, and then others 17%. And then here we go. Here's the stats on which miner everyone is using. So LOL miner coming in on top at 16%, followed by Team Red miner at 12%. Then we've got T-Rex at 10%, NB miner 10%, ASIC miner 9%, G miner at 9%, BZ miner at 6%. Look at the gap between G miner and BZ miner. I thought that was a bit surprising. You don't really see that large of a gap between the rest of these. We got Phoenix Miner at 5%, Wild Rig at 5%, Custom at 4%, XMR Rig at 4%, CPU Miner 3%, Mini Z at 3%, and then the rest would fall into the other category. And then if you're curious what percentage of NVIDIA GPUs versus AMD GPUs, coming in at 66% for NVIDIA and 34% for AMD, which I don't know if I should say that's surprising, but if you look at the amount of GPUs sold for NVIDIA versus AMD, I think it's like 88% market share for NVIDIA. So curious to see that miners deviate from that particular statistic. Anyways, moving on. One other thing to cover with Nexa on their Discord, a third-party developer has launched a new NVIDIA miner for Nexa. Please direct any and all questions regarding Rigel miner to the developer, Rigel. So there is a GitHub for this miner, and I think it is going to require a lot of extra steps to implement it on HiveOS. I'm going to go through those steps here in just a moment after I finish recording this video, and I will have that out to you guys shortly. But for now, for you Windows miners out there, if you want to get your hands on this, I'll leave a link in the description down below. I am hearing reports in Nexa's Discord that it is more efficient than BZ Miner and Wild Rig. Haven't confirmed that yet, didn't see any screenshots, but we're going to give it a go and see what type of efficiency we can get out of it and what kind of hash rates. So one of the last subjects I wanted to cover is in regards to your net meter. For those of you guys that are out there running solar or interested in running solar and you are going to use a net meter, I have a way to show you how to check and make sure that your electric provider is giving you the correct amount of credit for the production of your solar system. So I want to show you guys one particular day in this month that'll make a good comparison. So I'm going to scroll back here for a moment through my solar production to find a day that will be very easy to compare it to. That one might work. Let's see. Okay, this would be a really good one to compare it to. So this would be the 15th of January. So we're going to pull up my electric bill and we're going to find the 15th of January. Okay, so we're going to go to the 15th of January. And now you can see my hourly grid has updated here. And each one of these bars represents a 15-minute time frame and how many kilowatt hours in that 15-minute time frame. So as you can see, this particular bar represents 0.6168 kilowatt hours. And you can see as the day goes on, the sun comes out, we get to about 9 a.m., we start to produce some solar, and the production offsets the usage from the electric company. And then once we lost, I think actually this is where I switched from mining Kaspa to mining Nexa. But in the meantime here, let's go back to this chart on the 15th. So at about 1:20 p.m., we peaked at 5,359 watts. If we go back and we look at this, we weren't using any electricity from the provider sometime between 1:15 and 1:30 p.m., which lines up with this chart. And if I pull this back up here, we had another spike at about 3:15 in the afternoon. If we go back and we look here, we should see something at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and there you are. So in this time frame here, we weren't producing much solar because the clouds were in the way, and obviously we're going to be using more from the electric provider. So this is a great way to see if your electric provider is giving you the proper amount of credit for the electricity you're producing. Now, your electric provider may not give you this type of transparency, but I highly recommend that you go through your bill and check if you can. Now, I don't get this type of transparency looking at a paper copy of the bill, but I do get it from logging into the electric provider's website and pulling up my account usage. So hopefully they have something like that for you guys. Anyways, that's all I got on this particular video. Hope you guys are having a great day. Do me a favor before you go, hit that like and hit the subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.